This might be the weirdest thing you see today, because one of the most recognizable things about garlic is its cloves, and these don't have any cloves. They are just one solid garlic bulb. This is known as solo garlic, and it happens when a growing head of garlic doesn't get the right environmental cues to tell it to divide up into cloves. And that brings up a question that, as a total garlic gremlin, I actually can't believe I've never even thought to ask. Why does garlic normally have all those cloves? This is MinuteFood. Cloves' existence, like so many things in life, comes down to baby making. There are two ways that a plant, any life form really, can reproduce. Sexually, by mixing up its DNA with another individual's, making babies that are genetically different than either parent, or asexually. All on its own, it can pop out a new individual with a copy of its DNA. This is basically a matter of cloning yourself. Animals generally pick either one approach or the other, but many plants actually do both. Take mint. It flowers, gets pollinated, and goes to seed, producing seedlings. That's sexual reproduction. And it throws out these long stems known as runners that can pop out clones. That is asexual reproduction. Doing both is a great way to hedge your bets. Producing a baby that's different from yourself might give it a unique advantage, but doing all that is a big pain in the grass. In the meantime, you might as well pop out a bunch of clones of yourself. If you are like me and made the mistake of planting mint in your garden, you are probably intimately familiar with how quickly and effectively one plant can reproduce via asexual reproduction. 5 years later, we are still trying to rid our garden of mint runners. It can really pay off to reproduce sexually and asexually. And a bunch of plants double down like this. Strawberries, potatoes, ginger, and almost certainly the wild ancestor of garlic. We can only be almost certain because scientists aren't actually sure what the wild ancestor of modern garlic is. This is a wild scientific mystery that I would love to dig more into here. But we have cloves to talk about, not to mention a freaking adorable plushie. So garlic's questionable origin is a story for another day. But the science suggests that whatever that ancestor was, it reproduced sexually by flowering and going to seed, and asexually through cloves. Because inside each garlic clove is a tiny leaf and stem, an itty-bitty clone of the parent plant, which you've probably seen if you've ever ignored your garlic for too long. These clones are raring to grow, even in some forgotten corner of your kitchen. This is why garlic has cloves, to reproduce easily and readily without bothering with flowering or pollination or going to seed, which crucially made it super easy for humans to grow garlic. As soon as our species fell in love with this weird plant, whatever it actually was, we simply planted its cloves. Then we planted those clones' cloves, then those clones' cloves, and so on. The incredible ease and efficiency of asexual reproduction helped garlic spread far and wide, and almost certainly contributed to garlic becoming the culinary colossus it is today. That is the extraordinary power of a clove. Well, the story doesn't end there though, because it's becoming clear that relying almost exclusively on asexual reproduction has had some side effects, ones that could eventually doom garlic. That's because as you repeatedly clone clones, as DNA gets copied over and over and over again, little mistakes get made. Sometimes those errors end up helping the offspring, but more often they cause problems. Of course, the same thing happens during sexual reproduction. Actually, the mutations build up even faster. But here, since the parent's DNA is getting mixed up, some of the offspring will likely end up without those problematic mutations, and the errors can get weeded out. In asexual reproduction, the errors keep on getting copied endlessly. Over thousands of years, as we've cloned garlic over and over and over, lots of errors have accumulated in its genome, especially in the parts responsible for seed production. And at the same time, we've been choosing garlic clones that put more energy into their bulbs, where all the deliciousness lies, and less energy into their flowers and seeds. As a result, modern garlic has almost completely lost its ability to reproduce sexually. Yeah, we sterilized you. I'm sorry. I mean, it was an accident, but obviously it's not ideal. Since garlic can no longer mix up its genes through sexual reproduction, it has pretty limited genetic diversity to resist diseases, deal with a changing climate, all that stuff. At this rate, it is possible that garlic could disappear entirely at some point. But we are not letting garlic go down without a fight. Scientists are working hard to future-proof garlic by giving it back its powers of sexual reproduction. Our species' love for garlic may have gotten us into this unfortunate situation, but it's looking like it's going to get us out of it, too. That love is why we have been talking for years about making a garlic plushie. Because every real garlic lover needs a giant, charismatic, declovable garlic bulb with geeky little notations about the molecule that makes garlic garlicky. So over the last several months, we've been working with Makeshift to design exactly that. And our crowdfunding campaign is finally live. Go to the link on screen and in the description to get your very own garlic plushie. But the campaign only lasts 3 weeks until August 21st. And if we don't reach our goal, these poor little plushies will never get made. You'll never feel its soft fabric against your skin, or be able to waggle its endearing little limbs. Which, we can't let happen, right? So go to the link, get your plushie, and share the campaign with your friends, family, neighbors, literally any fellow garlic lovers you know, so we can all cuddle our favorite clove-packed culinary colossus.